Hello and welcome to another Inertial Drift tutorial video. I know I said I was only going to be doing the 7 cars I believe are capable of getting world records. However, I felt like it would probably be a good idea, or someone in Discord actually mentioned it to me that it would be a good idea to do the Chrono as well. This is because, of course, Chrono is relevant because it is the hardest campaign difficulty. And so even though it's not actually that great of an A class, I'd consider it 4 out of 6 as far as how good cars are in A class. It's still worth showing off because it's something a lot of people struggle with and something a lot of people I think would benefit from having a video showing. So actually I didn't really talk about the car at all. I mentioned it in my Soprano video, but this Chrono is kind of a diet Soprano. It's sort of the same idea as the Soprano, but toned down. But like both its strengths and weaknesses are toned down, which was what makes it interesting. It's not just a worse version. Its weaknesses are better and its strengths are worse. So for example, Soprano's biggest weakness is its really low acceleration. And Chrono has better acceleration than Soprano. However, Soprano's biggest strength is its super high top speed, and Chrono has a worse top speed than the Soprano. And likewise, it has better handling than the Soprano. It's a lot easier to drive, it's a lot more forgiving, but it's not quite as powerful. The Chrono is unique in that it's able to take advantage of something other cars are able to take advantage of as well, but in the Chrono you really have to work for it, so it's worth identifying as its own separate thing. I've been calling them bug slides because they look very similar to a similarly named technique in Trackmania, where you can increase your angle to 90 degrees in a drift, and that will actually pull you around the corner steeper, significantly faster than if you were, say, at 89 degrees. But to actually get to that angle in the Chrono is difficult, but I do have a setup for it, which I will be showing you. But we'll go show it off on a track. I think one of my favorite track car combos in the game is Chrono on City Skylink. I think it's a ton of fun to drive, so I'm going to be showing it off here. So, as you can see, Chrono really can't make it onto the leaderboards because it's bad. It's not a very good car. If it's a track where Raptor wins, Raptor will beat it. If it's a track where Soprano wins, Soprano will beat it always. So, especially since Soprano is just kind of Chrono but better. But I will show it off nonetheless. It's one of my favorite looking cars in the game. Look at that beauty. So because the Chrono has really good handling, you can actually do some pretty unique stuff that other cars can't really do. One such thing is you don't actually need to let go of the gas to go around a corner like this. Even though it's a pretty steep corner, you don't actually need to let go of the gas for it. Okay, time to do our first bug slide. So you see there, I let off the gas and then went back on the gas at a specific time to start my drift. And I was about getting a very specific drift angle. So how I do that, I did it again there but kind of messed it up. How I do that is I let go of drift and then I charge my drift until the orange meter is about 2/3 full. And then I go back on the drift and that will give me the angle I want. So this is very precise, very finicky, but also very powerful. You can see how quickly I got pulled around that corner there. The power of bug sliding. If your angle is slightly too steep, then you will actually spin out and lose a ton of time as a result. And if your angle is slightly too shallow, then you won't get the bug slide angle, and as such, your turning capabilities will be greatly decreased. And so, you will probably just slam into the outside wall. So it's a very risk-reward thing, but if you can make use of it, you can go really, really fast. This isn't something that's actually needed for Viv's campaign if you're watching this video just for help completing Viv's campaign. But it can help. Probably in my third lap of this, I'm gonna show off not doing bug slides. Actually, I think you sort of have the idea of bug slides. So now I can show it off, not doing bug slides. And again, I'm letting off my gas to increase the angle there. You can actually do it mid-drift to increase it more if you need to. Just makes it pretty forgiving to drive. But you can see there, that's sort of what you want to do on those hairpin corners if you're not planning on bug sliding. Again, you don't need to get platinum medals on Viv's campaign. But it can help if you find it easier than doing it normally, which honestly at this point, because I've played Chrono so long, I kind of do. Then it can really help. Yeah, so instead, if you don't want to do bug slides, you sort of brake a bit before the corner, and then push out your drift stick till you get to the angle you want. Luckily, when you're braking, you can see here, whereas if you're doing just like letting off the gas and braking, you're not going to actually see the angle until you go back on the gas. But if you're braking, then that will actually come out instantly, as you can see here. So it's a bit easier to judge your angle when you're using a brake turn as opposed to a turn with just letting off the gas. But of course it does lose time because any time spent braking is time not spent accelerating. I'm actually going to show off, because I'm actually going to show off 2 more races. Sort of a special situation tutorial because this is kind of tooled specifically for the campaign. And so I want to show off what people consider to be the 2 hardest tracks in Viv's campaign, and that's Snow Mountain Sprint, as well as Sunset Sea Circuit. Again, because it's a point-to-point track, you're going to be seeing the Chrono's frankly pretty bad acceleration. Look how fast that Raptor goes. And it can take the shortcut because it has such good acceleration. Chrono can't do that. But again, just if you can get around without letting off gas, don't let off gas. Which is actually probably more corners than you think that you can do that on, because Chrono has really good handling. Then when we get here, we're actually going to brake and go around, brake and go around, brake and go around. Again, you can use brakes to reset yourself to straight instantly, and you can also use it to change the direction of your drift, which helps for chicane-like sections like that. But you can see how much we decelerate just by not making it. Anyways, I'm going to try and get the gold medal here, because that's the thing people are usually interested when they're doing Viv's campaign. Nothing's quite as hard as actually getting the gold medal in the time attack. So I'm going to hopefully show off how to do that. And again, coming up here, you can bug slide. Since I've already shown it off, I'm not going to do it actually. And instead I'm going to go around normally. Especially since I am, again, designing this video to be to casual players who may not actually want to bug slide. But you can bug slide all these hairpins, and it is faster to do so. But it's very, very hard. One thing that I should know about bug slides that I didn't actually mention before is that the window for the correct angle to get it actually decreases as you speed up. So the faster you're going, the harder it is to actually bug slide. So that is something to keep in mind, that if you're trying to do it at a really, really high speed, it's going to be very, very difficult. But anyways, here is a 159, so that's well below the 203 that you need for the gold medal. So hopefully that can help. And then I'm also going to show off Sunset Sea Circuit. The main thing people struggle with Sunset Sea Circuit is the endurance. And that is because you have to be really, really consistent. So I would recommend, if you're doing the endurance and you're struggling with the endurance, I would recommend not doing any bug slides, because it's not worth it. You don't need to go fast, you just need to be consistent, and bug slides are not consistent. But again, if you wanted to, you could bug slide this first corner, but I'm not going to. but it would be faster to do so. And likewise, you could bug slide in here, and one final time coming up here, do another bug slide, or you could just go around normally like that. It's going to be a much easier time. But again, you can see I'm actually braking quite a lot before corners. This is because at really steep drift angles, the Chrono decelerates a ton. And because of that, it's often better to actually slow down a lot before corners than it would be to just do the minimum amount of braking you need and then just get a really steep angle, because you'll decelerate in that angle. So you actually decelerate less if you can brake enough to get a more shallow drift angle. And again, I'm just going to be going for the gold time here, because that's what people will be interested in. This is another corner you can bug slide, but again, it's quite difficult. And again, using that brake there to change my drift direction really helps. So there's a 131. So that is the gold medal. It's also the platinum medal. So hopefully that can help with any struggles you might be having with the Chrono campaign. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments, or if you think there's anything I missed. Otherwise, thank you and goodbye.